So hey there, welcome back to another movie review. I really want to welcome back, and since I reviewed all the Predator franchise, which I talked yesterday about RoboCop 2, I decided to do and review all the four RoboCop movies. The franchise, and I know the original RoboCop is not one of my personal. I mean, it's my personal favorite action film, but it's not in top 10. It was, but I enjoy other movies. But RoboCop, in my opinion, is 80s classic. You know, it's one of the best action sci-fi 80s satire movies of all time, and it's definitely my personal favorite. Always will be personal favorite. It came out the same year as Predator, as The Running Man. As Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Wars, which I love Dream Wars to death. You know, it's hard to be choose, but I definitely think that the Nightmare on Elm Street, the one and the third one, are both my favorite, and it's hard to compare them because I love them so much. But Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Wars came out the same year as this movie. You know, even Predator came out the same year. The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger came out. And RoboCop, you know, this movie review on RoboCop, which I said is a classic. It's to me, one of the best action 80s films of all time. I mean, the best one of all time. You know, it's definitely my personal favorite movie with the Rambo, with the Predator 2, which I love. You know, and this to me, this is the ultimate awesome 80s movie, one of the best movies of all time. It's rated R action with special effects, doesn't deal with CGI. You have a lot of action, blood scripts, businessman's good cop being blown away and his pieces together. You know, part human, part machine, ultimate action movie ever. Great music score by Basil Poledouris. The same music composer did the music score for Under Siege 2, Dark Territory with Steven Seagal. And I absolutely love the theme for the RoboCop because it's so great, you know. And Peter Weller is Officer Alex J. Murphy, RoboCop, the only one for me. I will review someday his other film that I enjoy, Leviathan, that he did 2 years after this movie was released. And back in 1987, this movie was a huge hit. It was a huge box office success. It was a hit. And Paul Verhoeven directed, and this is to me Paul Verhoeven's classic. You know, this is actually a Blu-ray, the unrated version, which is more gory, more bloody effect, which I love this movie so much. You know, better than the theatrical cut. It's only 1 hour longer than the theatrical cut. And originally, the studio, since the Terminator 1984 was so successful, the studio wanted to do another movie about cyborg films, you know, and they hired Paul Verhoeven, who directed this film Blood plus, I forgot his other film, but I think it was Blood or something. I forgot, I think the studio hired him to do this film, and don't worry, I'll check the title, how's it called, I have to find it, I think was Flesh plus Blood. You know, I forgot this one because I never saw it, but the studio hired him to do RoboCop because Flesh plus Blood, they saw Flesh plus Blood, and they thought he would be the perfect choice to do the film. And when RoboCop saw that, you know, he wasn't interested. I mean, Paul Verhoeven saw the script. He wasn't interested to do this film. You know, he thought it's gonna be that it's gonna be a bad idea. So he did not even read the script. He threw it in the trash. But his wife found out the script, you know, and she took it out of the trash and she read it. And when she read it, she found out that the script was pretty good. That's definitely great, you know, the script. So she went to her husband and she convinced him to take the job anyway to direct the film. So Paul Verhoeven went back to the studio and he decided, I'm gonna do it. And when he directed, this film was actually a huge box office success, which is also to me Paul Verhoeven's 80s classic, you know. And Peter Weller, he sweat to do this film, you know, he sweat in it because the RoboCop suit, which is the baddest, RoboCop suit was actually very heavy. So when he tried to go in the car, he couldn't fit because it was so large that that costume, he couldn't fit. So he had to go in his underwear in the car. So they only filmed the opening scene when he was in the car, and the Titan costume that was so heavy to wear that Peter Weller was sweating the costume, and he lost 5 pounds. He lost many pounds every day because of it. So he was more skinny. But Peter Weller did a great job, and he's the only officer, Alex J. Murphy, the only one. The movie has a satire and has a message in here. You'll see a lot of heavy automatic weapons, shotguns, handguns, explosive weapons with multiple huge explosions, with thousands of bullets fired in this movie, And Bob Morton, played by Miguel Ferrer, rest in peace. I think he passed away in 2017, but he's the heart of this film, and I love Bob Morton so much in this movie. I hear that they are making now RoboCop Returns. I hope they do and they fix the remake that was such a flop. But they're planning to do RoboCop Returns, which will ignore RoboCop 2, and I think it will be still a horrible movie, but they could try something else. But I think it's a horrible movie, And the worst RoboCop 1987, the movie has heart and soul in it. The fact is to have a human being who loses his humanity, and he's brought back to life, he's resurrected, and he's a superhuman super cop who once again regains his humanity on the end of the movie, and his trouble being robot and human. You really feel sad for Alex, who loses his family and everything, And a movie as it goes, when a good cop, the officer Alex J. Murphy, gets blown away by roulette stacks, the old Detroit now in the future is actually runs by this company, OCP, Omni Consumer Products, and they run the city, and their job they want to do to build a RoboCop because Detroit has a crime, and in 6 months they are actually planning to build a city in which they plan to build a Delta City, in which is a complex, and it's going to be safe for all the families and all the homeless people, and they are spending $40 million for the building the city, and they want to find someone, a cop who does not eat, who does not sleep, a cop that is going to be 24/7 a day, they hire they hire Dick Jones, played by Rooney Cox, to do this machine, a RoboCop. So he designs a model, I think it's Android or Cyborg at 209, which is great, I think it's actually the Enforcement Droid series, 209, but they call it at 209, which is actually fully automated series of peacekeeping machines, created by Omni Consumer Products. The sound for at 209 is brilliant and the best in the film. And when one of the co-workers gets shot to pieces, in this version, unrated version, you can see all blood and gory. I think many of the people on YouTube show the scenes, but it gets blown to pieces, in the other cut is cut, but in the director's cut is the director's cut, it shows, the unrated version shows that bloody, which that's great. So when Officer Alex J. Murphy pursues those bank robbers, played by Clarence Boddicker, I think it was Clarence J. Boddicker by Kerwin Smith and his stacks. He and his partner, Officer Ann Lewis, played by Nancy Allen, they pursue those guys to this nuclear steel, to this old abandoned mill steel, and Alex Murphy gets caught by those stacks and he gets blown, and to see a lot of bloody pieces, because in the unrated version you can see more the gore, and Alex Murphy gets blown, his head, his hand gets blown up by Colonel Smith, Clarence J. Boddicker, and he says, boom, he blows his fucking his hand, and then they turn out, you see one of the guys shooting with the shotgun, and this whole thing in the unrated cut version blows up from Alex J. Murphy, and then they fire him. But this is a classic. So Alex Murphy is now dead, and Andrew Lewis couldn't prevent the death. So those thugs laughing go away, and they take Alex Murphy into hospital because they tried to save him, but he is too late because he was shot in the head. Clarence Boddicker shot him here in the head. So now, after they lost the co-worker by A209, so Bob Morton says to the old man, the old company executive, the president, that his boss tells him that this RoboCop is perfectly safe, the program is designed. So the scientist, Bob Morton, and scientists in Omni Consumer Products, OCP, they actually innovative scientists, they build him together. They piece him together as an unstoppable crime-fighting cyborg called RoboCop. Because they need someone to do someone that's gonna be better than the cops, because the thugs are killing the cops, and the cops want to strike. So now all of them. So now RoboCop goes on the city, and he cleans everything. He kills all the bad guys, He goes and prevent an armed robbery in which some guy was trying to rob those older couple in a store, and he actually prevent the robbery, which I love that. He saved a young girl that was tried to be raped by those rapists, and he shoots them, and he shoots the bad guy in the dick. Bang! That's unrated, that's rated, that's a badass motherfucking movie that you do. RoboCop is a classic to me, masterpiece, the best one of all time, and I love this film to death. He blows his dick off, I love that. Or he goes and punches one of the terrorists, there's a terrorist in a mayor's office, so ex-mayor, he's taking everyone hostage, he kill with a machine gun Uzi a hostage, and he goes and he breaks the fucking wall, he takes them out, and he punches him, and the guy flies through the window, which I love that, and he saves everyone. But when RoboCop is become tormented in the memories of his former life as Alex Murphy, and when he's tormented by those memories, RoboCop goes now on his own to find some crime going on, and one of those guys, I think was one of those guys that they found him. I think it was Emil. He was robbing the gas store, and RoboCop shows up, and there's this great practical effect explosion. And RoboCop, when he's the only one, recognizes him and says, "We kill you," and fires the Uzi. RoboCop then he escapes, blows the whole blows the whole gas station, and it has practical effect, and. Like I said, RoboCop goes after him, fires him, and he falls down with this, he falls down with this motorcycle, and RoboCop goes and asks him, who are you? And the guy cannot speak because he's hurt. So he goes in the police database to search, and one of those guys with glasses is so great. This is a restricted area. I love this guy with glasses. He's so great in this film. And RoboCop finds out no competences, and Clarence J. Boddicker was the one that killed him. So RoboCop goes to see the house, and now we start to mourn for the character Alex J. Murphy, because he lost everything. He lost everyone. And when the guy on TV says make you an offer, RoboCop punches, and he goes in the disco club, and he finds this guy from Twin Peaks, Leon Nash. Ray Wise. He finds him, and and when Leo Nash kicks in the balls, he forgot it's so Titan, so RoboCop grabs him. So in the drug factory, meantime, Clarence Boddicker, actually Clarence Boddicker shows up in Bob Morton because Dick Jones is pissed, because now Dick Morton replaced Bob Morton replaced Dick Jones, because he's now the president, vice president, and because he succeeded, because RoboCop cleaned the streets, and Dick Jones was pissed, and they had argument. And because I love that. I love the idea because RoboCop versus Clarence J. Boddicker and Bob Morton versus Dick Jones, because later we found out that Clarence Boddicker is working for Dick Jones. They are partners together. He's working for him. He's working for the whole businessman. And that's a great concept. And now in the toilet, in the bathroom, they both go into argument. And I love that line, because Dick Jones grabs for Bob Morton's hair and says, "You fuck with the wrong guy." And I love Bob Morton when he says, "Are you fucking mind?" I love that. I really love that, Or when he says, you with my old no, because I love the lines, but I forgot what they said. But I love when Dick Jones says, "I know when I was young executive, young worker, I always call the old man funny names, bonehead." Boner. I once even call him asshole, but I always had a respect. And I love it when he grabs over the hair and says, "You fucked with the wrong guy." And then Bob Morton says, "I'm fucking mine." Who cares? It doesn't work. And I admit it, who cares? It doesn't work. And I love when Bob says, "The old man thought," the old man cared. I love that. I really love the lines between Ronnie Cox and Miguel Ferrer. I miss those guys so much. Ronnie Cox was 3 years later in Beverly Hills Cop, and then he did Total Recall with Paul Verhoeven because he was so great. He was also the same year Beverly Hills Cop 2 came out, and that's why explains why Ronnie Cox wasn't that much in that film, because he do this film. He was busy schedule, but he was in Beverly Hills Cop, and I love Beverly Hills Cop. RoboCop is a classic. Is a masterpiece in my opinion. So RoboCop, then Bob Morton gets blown to pieces because Dick hires this guy, what's his name, Clarence J. Boddicker, and Clarence shows up and says to those girls, "Leave, bitches, leaves. Bitches, leaves." I don't know what he says, but he says, "Bitches, leaves." And the girls, that were by Bob Morton goes, and he wounds Bob Morton, shows him a disc and shows a grenade, and the movie, and then his whole house goes blown off, and then we have the drug factory in which those guys are enjoying, and there's this guy Sal, and there's the drug operation going on because they're building the drugs in this factory, and this guy Sal, I kind of think that Sal is better because to me Clarence J. Boddicker is dangerous because he killed at least 13 police officers. He's a cop killer, and Sal, a lot of people said that Sal wants to take over the operation because Clarence J. Boddicker killed lots of cops, and that's really bad, and a lot of people want that he takes them out. I would rather want to see that, but they have the agreement because they all pull guns, and Clarence says, "Guns, guns, guns! Come on, let's say Tigers play tonight. Never miss a game." I love that, But then RoboCop shows up, and he says, "Go quietly, or then we will trouble." And this guy, what was his name? This guy, Jesse D. Gons, he says, "Ah, fuck you." And he starts firing over them. RoboCop goes, kills everyone single-handedly. He kills every fucking single one of them. He kills this guy Nash. Not Nash. Min, he kills this guy Min, played by Jesse D. Gons. He punches this guy Felton Perry, which he falls off the factory, but he's alive. So he goes and attacks this guy. Clarence J. Boddicker, throws in the glass. There's a lot of glass flying. He throws in the glass, but then Clarence confesses that he's a cop. He wants to kill him, but then he finds out that he's a cop and he can't do that. So then he finds out that Clarence J. Boddicker is working for Dick Jones. So he goes. He brings Clarence Boddicker in the police station and says, "Book him." And then the guy, which I love, that I forgot what the Sergeant Warren Reed says. What's the charge? And says a cop killer. And he spits in those police officer documents, and says, "Just give me one fucking phone call." And then when Dick Jones finds out, says, "Don't worry, Roy's gonna get you out. You're screwed up." And RoboCop shows up, and they have talk about it, but he can't arrest him because he has this program inside, and his program is not allowed to arrest his superior officer, Omnicus Sum Products, because he's a product. He's not an ordinary police officer. No, he's a product. So Dick Jones shows his Ed-209 Sirius, his droid, and Ed-209 starts firing him. You see the rockets, you see everything, by this film, and you see. You see the rockets, the rockets. He fires a rocket launcher, but he misses RoboCop. He grabs the machine gun, but RoboCop grabs him, and he flies through the window, and RoboCop destroys one of his hands, and he escapes. And the droid Ed-209 he can't go to downstairs like RoboCop does. And meantime, Dick Jones calls the cops, the SWAT team, and they give him a choice to destroy him. So they all fire hundreds of bullets on him, but and Lewis saves RoboCop, and they flee to Steel Mill. And now Clarence J. Boddicker shows up, and Clarence and Dick Jones says that they need to destroy RoboCop. And first Clarence refuses, but then Clarence J. Boddicker, because in 6 months they built, and there's going to be a lot of prostitution, a lot of gambling, drugs, he can have it all. So Dick Jones decided to do Boddicker decided to do what Dick Jones asked him, because Dick Jones is actually filmed, the droid, he's filmed, so he recorded everything what Dick Jones said. So so now all the gangs, they go. Boddicker gets his whole crew, the men that are still alive, Emil and Nash, and I forgot what is his name, that plays this guy. I always forgot what is this guy name. Who played the Felton Perry? What was his name? I forgot. I'll try to find him. No, it's not Johnson. I can't find the actor who was another bad guy. That black guy. It wasn't Felton Perry. That's some other actor. I think it was Jesse D. Gons, not Felton Perry. Jesse D. Gons was the guy he was Joe, he was actually, he was one of the bad guys, who was laughing, who actually punched Ann Lewis that time in the steel mill. So now they all go into it, and RoboCop says to Ann Lewis, "You should go," and says to her partners, remember? So now he goes, and they have that rocket launcher, that firepower launcher, and they fire, and RoboCop says, "Looking for me," and he goes and fires and kills Joe. The guy is dead. So Emil grabs the car. Paul McCrane grabs the car and the van, and he actually crashes. And he tries to hit RoboCop. He crashes into nuclear waste. He gets all with all nuclear waste. And when we see Leon, and says, "Help me, man," and says, "Don't touch me, man," and when Clarence J. Boddicker grabbed the car, he accidentally hit Emil when he was when he was crying for help. He killed him accidentally. It wasn't on purpose. And then he fall down in this water, you know. And when Anne tries to show up, he goes off the car and fires her, you know. But then in the water, RoboCop he's actually start walking. Says Clarence. And now it's between him, you know. It's between Clarence and RoboCop. And okay, you got me, you know. He surrenders and says, RoboCop, I'm not gonna arrest him anymore. Hey, you take a best. And Leon then goes and Leon goes and grabs and lands and he throws that iron sticks, you know, that iron pricks on RoboCop, you know, how that crane he lands him, and RoboCop is now wounded, and of course Claire J. Bodyguard tries to kill him, and he actually stabs him with one of those steel pipe, you know, but RoboCop grabs the knife and he stabs him. In theatrical cut, that scene is actually deleted, but in the underrated, his blood spits out, you know. In the underrated, his blood spits out. In theatrical, isn't that scene in it, but he spits out, so he falls down and dies. And Lewis says, Murphy, I messed. And says, don't worry, they can fix it. They can fix everything. And he moved that crane. And RoboCop shows into Omni-Consumer Products and blows to pieces at 209. Goes into executive production, you know, and says that Dick Jones is wanted for a murder. And the old man says, what's the charge? And he takes the knife and shows the record that he said. And I love the lines. Then when this guy, Dick says, you know, how he says, I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake. I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake. And then Dick Jones grabs the old man, played by Daniel Hurley, because he's so sweet old man, you know. He grabs him and he says, I'm gonna go on the roof with a chopper if anyone follows me. The old geese cats that love that. And I love it. The old man says, Dick, you're fired! And punches him and says, RoboCop, thank you. Boom, 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 boom. He fires and the guy, you know, it's great effect, falls down the window in the building. Great effect. So awesome effect. Great effect. And then RoboCop does like this. And says, the old man says, nice shooting, man. What's your name? And says, Murphy. And at the end of the film, he got the RoboCop, he got his remaining humanity back, you know, because now it's Murphy. And I love that, you know. It was written by Edward Neumeier and Michael Miner. They both did great job, you know. The music score for Basile Poliduris is one of my favorite scores of all time, you know, RoboCop. You know, and I love the series at 209. That's why it's so great. You know, I love the Enforcement. You know, Droid series 209 or at 209. You know, which are fully automated series of peacekeeping, and it's this here. You see, this is at 209. I love the design. I love the droid. You know, for 987. You know, this is the droid, you know. I love the costume for RoboCop, but I love the design, I love the action, you know. This is actually the first origin movie of RoboCop. They don't make like this anymore, because after RoboCop 2, there was just a joke. RoboCop 3 fucked up. Remake sucked. The series sucked. In the series, he never killed anyone. Not that I saw it that time when I watched. But this movie is a badass, you know. It's a kick-ass, it's badass 80s action film of all time. You know, and I love RoboCop to that, and I don't care what my communications says. This is my film, not his, you know. He's maybe a fan. I'm a fan of this movie too. And this movie has heart, you know, it has heart. When RoboCop, there's a lot of talks, and RoboCop takes the helmet off, and you can see all sad, and you can see sad man, you can mourn with him, you know, he's so sad, because this movie has so much heart, because he got humanity, you know, and you feel so bad for him. I feel bad when he was blown to pieces, you know. And I used to have this movie in VHS back in days, but it was a tape was already eaten because there was so terrible picture quality, with a rated version I used to have it. But the tape over the years was eaten from VHS recorder, so I couldn't watch the movie properly anymore. And 3 years actually. And back 6 years later, 6 years earlier, 2014, I bought the movie on Blu-ray, unrated version. And what happened? My Blu-ray player was out of control, and it scratched and destroyed my disc so much. When I tried to watch it, it was so terrible. It was I thought that my screen will explode, so I had to replace it. I had to replace it. I had to buy 3 years back, 2017 again. The movie on Blu-ray, and every time I watch this film, I have fun with it. This is a kick-ass, badass, boss-to-the-boss action film. When I said in my video when I made fun of Mike with CP Communications, I was lying when I said that Terminator is better than RoboCop. Sadly, no, I enjoy RoboCop more than Terminator because this movie has heart. Terminator does not have a heart. I hate that sex scene between Linda Hamilton and Kyle Reese. We see Linda Hamilton's tits, That scene has sucked for me. I'm sorry, but I don't prefer naked being dragged in this movie. I think Nancy Allen as Anne Lewis, Officer Anne Lewis, did a much better job than Linda Hamilton. That's just me. That's why I'm gonna review RoboCop films. I'm not gonna review the Terminator for a long time. But RoboCop, I would never say Anne Lewis was better in this movie. Anne Lewis played by Nancy Allen. She was great. She was better in this movie. And the movie I love because it shows the future and the corporations that the city is led by OCP, Omni Consumer Products, and this is the best, the only film with the sequels and was rebooted, and reboot failed to be a RoboCop film. Paul Verhoeven directed this film with the joy and passion, one of the best films of all time, and he directed great, and the design for that 29 series, you can see here is the design, I'll go closer. You can see that 29 is badass, this that 29 series is a badass. I love that, how they did, for consumer products, for Omni Consumer Products, how they did, the series 209, that 209, the enforcement droid, which that was excellent, that was great. And definitely the film has a heart, it has a special place in my heart, I love this movie to death, here you have everything, like brilliant story, good actors, stunts, puppeteer, models, and good special effects. They don't make special effects nowadays, This is Paul Verhoeven and Peter Willer's best movie from the 80s they ever made. I used to have this movie in VHS, but over the years the tape was eaten from VHS recorder, so that I couldn't watch that movie anymore. But yeah, I have the film again, and it's not an action itself, that makes this be the case, especially the movie was only $50 million budget for that time in 87, which it cost more than the rest of films, Aliens, which I love to death, came out a year earlier, and the budget cost $500 million. This is $50 million, $50 budget million, It was really odd, but for the multiple high explosions, huge explosions with hundreds of bullets fired, scores and standard news, and already it was 30 years anniversary, which it came in July 2017, And it's a shame that Miguel Ferrer and Gabon Morgan died in 2017, in the year, in January. And to me, this is a perfect, I will give 5 stars of 5 this movie, it's a perfect, because it takes the vision of one of the most imaginative directors of Earth and realizes the most perfectly with all the tools and that fit the task, which is perfectly executed, but it has a heart, it has soul, the fact that you have a human being who loses his humanity and is brought back to life, he's resurrected, and yeah, I don't know what to say, but another thing, the stunts are completely insane in scale. We have a lot of glass scenes, like A29 fires cannon guns on Robo, and he flies through the glass door. Robo fires his gun on Dick, and he flies through window. Robo punches terrorists in Mayor's office, and he fails from the window. Of course, this won't be an action. We move it with some action. No, there's plenty of it, and it's perfectly done. And the gameplay is delivered in perfect Brookhaven style, opposite to slow-mo John Woo style. You see lots of heavy automatic shotguns, explosive cannon weapons. And you'll see them use the well. This film is violent, it's bloody, with real blood scripts. There's so many blood scripts, And also the script which delivers the script. The real substance of the movie. One often sees great performance in mediocre movies. Here the story transcends the performances and impressive fit. The script delivers, the film's absolutely filled with great classic moments, I can't at least 10 all stars during my last film, even space through the movie, So I love RoboCop movie to death, he prevents 2 armed robberies, a rape, which he shoots the rapist in the dick, the bus factory itself. He stops and punches a terrorist and saves a hostage in the mayor office. He stops a violent can by himself, and he stops a corrupt businessman. That's how you do a fucking RoboCop movie, But yeah, so I would say RoboCop is a classic, a masterpiece. But I'm gonna end it here with this movie review. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and this is my review on RoboCop 1997. I would say it's a classic, a masterpiece, in my opinion. But take care now, guys. Have a nice day, and see you and talk to you next movie review, RoboCop 2. Bye bye.